top. They want top top. They love top top. They want top top. They love top top.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
Short Corners is back. We got some interesting ones in here to discuss. The first one I'm really excited about, actually. Liga MX, man, got put to the fire on national TV by Herculez Gomez. They asked current Liga MX President Mikel Arriola, if he felt that he was falling behind MLS. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm going to need y'all to come with the pesos immediately so we can keep pace. Ken, did you see this? Did you see this happen in real time after the fact? What are your thoughts on it? How you feel about it?
This has just come to my attention. And like, I hate to say it, but if you're not like a top European league, then like what the like Mexican Federation president was saying like makes a lot of sense, because like, you're not, unless you just close it up and like really try to essentially collectively bargain with sponsors and things like that, like you're just not going to be able to keep pace because the residual investment just isn't going to be there.
You just said closed system out loud. They're going to get you.
Hey, bro, man. At first, like I used to be a pro railer, but like then I realized that like, women actually like me. And like that shit's bad for the brand. So like I had to leave that pro rail shit behind, bro.
I cannot even continue the damn podcast after that shit.
Hey, man. But I mean, like, for real, like you can talk pro rail all you want to, but like at the end of the day, like, as my man once said, like, the business of entertainment is blood, and that's what the fans want to see. Yeah. So, I mean, like sports is business here in America and increasingly like a lot of other parts of the world. And there are very few places where like, it's not a spectacle anymore, or like it's so entrenched that like it can continue to exist the way it like, it has for hundreds of years there. But I mean, all of the leagues like on this side of the continent, at least, they're like under 50 years old. You know what I mean? Like, no matter the sport. So, like you can save all that pro rail shit for the birds. Like, it's real when other federations are like, like, hey man, like, we need to link up, close our system up and start getting some of this spanky too. Right.
For real.
Like, how do you feel
I found
about
it super interesting that, Arriola specific. I don't know how accurate this number is, if he's just throwing out, a general number off the top of his head, or if he's speaking from, the research papers that have landed on his desk. And he said the level of investment of MLS increased 600% in 12 years. He said we need and want that kind of investment because if we don't do that, we will lose in the following 5 years. The main plan of the Mexican League is to increase the level of investment. Him being pressed about this on national TV, we've known for at least the last 3 to 5 years that a merger of some sort between Liga MX and MLS was a high probability occurrence. And now we're seeing it, that they were pressing him about this on TV. You don't get asked that question at random. This is business. And if it was funny to the business, that question would have never come up, especially on live TV. So, what that says to me is they are looking for that investment from MLS as well. Like, put that money over here. We about to link up. Yes, we'll still be competitive. Yes, we'll still be competing to send players to Europe and, whatever, and in competitions in the Americas. However, if we don't get that investment that we're looking for, we won't be able to keep up. And we're seeing that already.
Mm-hmm.
Hercules also pointed out that, Campeones Cup, Gold Cup, whatever domestic competitions we've had, MLS has been kind of putting that ass to bed. So, that's not the thing people want to see, even though a lot of people said they wanted to see that. MLS was a joke for a long time. The joke ain't so funny anymore. So if you were on that shit before, you're gonna have to eat a lot of your words in the next 3 to 5 years, because MLS is continually on the rise, for better or for worse. I always say that. I'm not saying people have to be on the MLS bandwagon, but what I am saying is that what they have done is figured out their goddamn business. And you have to respect that if you want to see the game here in the United States.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think what I will push back on a little bit is that, like, I definitely want to, like, pump everybody's brakes on, like, MLS being like a top league in the world, because
In the Americas, that's all.
in the Americas, 100%, right? Because, like, like, you can be a top league in the Americas and, like, exist in the American market, which is one of the largest markets in the world,
Right.
and not be a quote unquote, like, top league in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be in the European footprint to, like, have a sustainable league that puts a good product on the field, that for the American, like, landscape of sports, like, turns over a lot of money. I mean, last week we were talking about, like, how much, like, franchises are valued at. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking about, like, multiples of billions of dollars, right? So, I mean, even just getting, like, a couple of MLS franchises, right? Like, you could have 5 MLS franchises that are worth more than $1 billion, and that would change the landscape of soccer in America, right? Like,
Right.
would it make it, like, like the European game and, like, all this other bullshit? Like, no.
No.
But, would a couple of franchises being over $1 billion, like, I don't want to say reorganize, but it would definitely, like, readjust, like, the way soccer is viewed in this country. And I believe, like, I believe it would be, because I mean, pro rel ain't making soccer the number one sport in America. Like,
You're wrong, Ken. You're wrong. God damn it. Open it up.
yeah, right. Like, no, and, like, for what it's worth, like, if people want to talk about community investment in the game, like, opening it up to pro rel, like, ain't gonna do that, right? Like, like, if you want to focus on, like, grassroots community stuff, then that's literally what the third and fourth divisions are for. Like,
Mm-hmm.
fucking, you look anywhere in the world, like, you go over to Europe, man, like, their top clubs, like, yeah, they're doing quote unquote community shit, but they're not, like, the guys that are really pulling out grassroots stuff, right? Like,
Facts.
it's your smaller clubs, it's your clubs that are in the third and fourth English division, that are in the non-football league, that are really doing, like, community based stuff. So,
Right.
and I mean, those clubs are never going to have a chance to touch the top division without significant financial investment. So, just, like, get that pro rail shit out of here, bro. Like, if you want some pro rail, nigga, move to Europe. Like, fucking,
Yo, bro, that's really the long and short of it. I think I don't know. Maybe I just don't know enough. I don't understand enough. But from everything that I've seen and heard to this point from people who are really adamant about pro rel for USA, it seems that they are completely conflating the idea of, like you're saying, community club, grassroots efforts, and being a high level, highly invested, competitive club and US soccer. Is like that's just not how it works, bro. You're doing one thing or the other. It
yeah.
doesn't really work like that. You can do some communal things as a big club. I'll use New York City as an example. They do city in the community. They have, they partner with uh, community service organizations in the city. That's how they do it. But they're not going to devote more than, probably 5-10% of their time to anything that's not directly sporting related, because that's just not what they're here to do. They're here to win, grow, sell players, and dominate in MLS the same way they do everywhere else in the world. And that's just how it works, bro.
Yeah, and when like as pure as the Mexican league is about getting their shit off, when them hoes start talking about closing that shit up, where it's going, bro, and it ain't the pro rel.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Thank you for checking out Chop Soccer Pod Short Corners. For more, check us out on Twitter @Chop Soccer Pod and Instagram @Chop Soccer Pod. You know the vibes.